Hey y'all, my name is Jasmine Jones. I am a licensed clinical social worker, and you are now watching Black Girl, a Therapist in the Wild, on this little show I like to call Therapist Sips and Reviews. And today we are reviewing Abbott Elementary Season 2, Episode 18, Teacher Appreciation Day. It took me a second. And we are sipping on some more apple juice and vodka. Yeah. Ooh. So anyways, how y'all doing? So we're starting this episode off. Gregory has a new fancy hat that he just feels he needs to wear in order to be different. I don't know what's going on there. He just wanted to have a different day. And so he comes into the teacher's lounge and is like, just doesn't say anything, just trying to be inconspicuous and shit, like, and then act like no one's gonna notice the hat. And so everyone notices the hat. They're just like, Gregory, that hat's ugly. And then they start roasting him and shit. Even Janine roasting him. By the time Janine roasted him, he's ready to take the hat off. And then Mr. What's his name? Johnson puts the hat on. And I think Mr. Johnson's right about it's about the swag. You can't let the clothes wear you. You wearing the clothes. And so when Mr. Johnson put the hat on, he got a little swag. He got a little confidence in himself. Gregory over there awkward, walking in quietly, trying not to be seen. You trying something new, but you ain't ready for the backlash of it and stuff, and to still feel like you cute in it and shit, then don't wear the shit. Everyone has to try though. Baby steps. Okay. Let's see. I like to go with the small stories first and the bigger story, but all the stories are kind of together. So let me see. They got an award from the district. So they've been complaining, like Barbara's been upset because it's Teacher Appreciation Week that the district came up with, so teachers wouldn't quit, but the district don't even be giving them shit. The kids come to school and give them shit. It's kind of how customers have to give people tips at the restaurants. Like, I tip, don't get me wrong, but my thing is, it's like, why don't y'all paying like a living wage to these folks? Like, what is the problem? Like, so we have to basically help each other instead of like the people that should be giving us money are not doing that. So, the kids and the parents are giving the teachers gifts and things. And Barbara just over here wanting a little $50 gift card to Buffalo Wild Wings. I really think that the whole episode was like a commercial for Buffalo Wild Wings because their wings aren't that good for me to be. Wait, no, they're not, because I like my wings fried hard. The best fried hard wings are at the Chinese food place and the Asian food places. Like, Koreans can barbecue it hard, or can fry it hard. Chinese food, they always fry it hard. Thai food, always fry them hard and shit. Them Asian motherfuckers be frying the chicken hard and shit. Buffalo Wild Wings chicken is slimy. It's not that good. And then you ask them to fry it hard and they still not hard enough. I don't care. I want a little texture to the inside of my chicken. I don't want it to be like all slimy and extra juicy. Like, I don't mind a little bit of juice, but like, I need it to be like kind of chewy a little bit, like just a tad bit. It's the texture for me. I don't know why. I just like, and then the skin to be extra crispy on top with that little slight chew texture underneath. It makes me happy. It gives me life. And them Asian folks know how to do that shit. So Buffalo Wild Wings ain't even got that good of a chicken wing. I don't know what the problem is. So I think it's just a commercial for Buffalo, because she keeps saying it. And I'm saying, why she keep mentioning that? Like, they gotta pay to put that on a TV show. Like, oh, this must be advertising. But, they right. Like, the district needs to be, like, taking care of them. So, the district sends over some 76ers tickets. And Ava, she stupid ass, she just like, oh, well, trying to get everybody excited about it. Like, yeah, everybody get excited. And then she gonna drop the bomb while everybody's excited that, oh, they only sent over 2 tickets. It's not for all the teachers. Of course it's not. Why would they do that? And it was, like, courtside seats, too. So, what it is what it is. So they basically start to deteriorate over these damn tickets and fight each other over it because they're impoverished. And when you dangle crumbs and carrots over impoverished people, they ain't got nothing else. So they're going to start leaping and lapping at the damn crumbs and carrots because we've been thirsty and dry and starving for so long. Here's a little crumb. And then they all start arguing over it, placing bets over it. Jacob over here, like, getting in with the teacher that he said don't like him. And the teacher said he don't like him. So Jacob was reading the room. correctly. They in cahoots because they got the older kids and stuff, and they on the second floor. And they trying to, and then like they all do the voting. And it comes out to be Mr. Johnson that wins because everybody was just voting for Mr. Johnson because they didn't want to vote for nobody else. And they didn't think nobody was going to vote for Mr. Johnson. So they was just like, oh, okay, we'll just do it. And so Mr. Johnson won. And he got to go to the 76ers game. And they made all the teachers had to make up with each other and realize that they got caught up in the mob mentality of poverty. And that it's not them, it's the district's fault. It's the people, the man's fault. And, that's what happened with that. And so also at the end, Ava, she gets this letter from the district. And basically, there's been a petition put out for Abbott Elementary to become a charter school. So I'm guessing that's going to be like the finale. We're already on the 18th episode. It's supposed to be like 20-something episodes, 23, 24, something like that. So I'm guessing that's going to be the finale. Last year, the finale was them getting funding and for their budget and their school and Ava keeping her job and shit like that. So this year, it's going to be whether or not they're going to turn it into a charter school or not. So I don't know. But anyway, so Janine's sister visits her. And I guess she's going to be there for like a few days and stuff like that. And so, her sister's cool. Her sister's chill. And like, she come over the first day and she already got plans set up. Janine ain't asked her if she was trying to visit her friends or anything while she was here. She just assumed that the bitch wanted to just hang out and be all up under her sister. And I see that Janine got abandonment issues and she feel like her sister abandoned her and shit like that. But no, you sitting up here putting all these negative connotations on your sister and not just talking to her about it, not just telling her how you feel. And so you acting like jealous and fucked up to her because you miss her and you should just say that you miss her. So anyways, her sister like the first day is like, oh, I got other people to see that I'm going to see. And her sister and Janine's just like, oh, Janine had this whole roster of shit she wanted to do with her and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, but girl, why you didn't ask if, like, what her plans were? Like, why you just commandeer because you're a people pleaser and you try to take control of everything in order to feel comfortable in this world and you have abandonment issues and you just want to be all up under your sister all day, every day while she was here, and that's not healthy, and that's why your sister saw that shit immediately and said, I have other things to do. Like, the sister's in a healthier place, as we can see. Like, we learned through the course of this show that Janine has felt like she needs to stay in Philadelphia to, watch over mom and make sure mom is okay. So Janine is thoroughly ensconced in the brainwashing of her mother. And she needs to go to therapy. So this is like some I'm Glad My Mother Died, that Jeanette McCurdy book. This is some of that. Like, when you get brainwashed by some toxic, neglectful, emotionally absent person to feel like you have to be the one to always fix their shit, then you don't develop a personality for yourself. And so she just mad at her sister. And so they had a game night with Jacob and Gregory, and then Erica was there. I'm Erica because as soon as they started getting into it, that would have been me like, oh, what's this? Why y'all mad at each other? Erica standing by the window trying to listen and shit. So she had the game night the next night. She trying to complain to, Gregory and Jacob, like, she just made her own plans. I guess you can't assume nothing. Are you going to regret it? She don't even know the saying. Whatever, girl. Cover girl, you are the world. So she's just like, okay, we're going to have game night. And Gregory's just excited because he's a nerd. And it's okay because I'm a nerd. And I'm just like, I get it. Like, I get it. It's just, I'm not as fixated on the nerdy shit anymore. Like, now, like, I have more of an expanded plethora of things that I enjoy doing. Like, I'll sit up and watch anime and watch documentaries and read books and shit like that. But I also need to do other things outside of that. I'm no longer fixated on those things like I was in the 90s because we didn't have technology and I was a minor and I couldn't leave the house. Like, I could leave the house, but you can't stay out hella late. You can't really go anywhere as a minor. All that shit. So, like, I'm not hyper fixated on those things anymore. So, like, I'm still nerdy, but, like, I like other shit too. So it's like you get a nigga that just be sitting up playing video games for fucking 14 hours a day and you just like, I mean, I remember when I was like that, but like, really, nigga, like the sun is out. Like we can play video games for a couple hours. Like they got Nintendo Switches now. You don't want to take that outside and sit in the grass. The sun is out. Like I'm just not there. I'm not fixated like that anymore. So, but I'm still a nerd, will always be a nerd, and I can call other niggas a nerd when I see a nerd. They nerd. He's a nerd, and it's cool. It's okay. But so he's nerding out over these board games and shit like that. Mm-mm. Yeah, board games is cool. They fun. Like I don't get that excited about it, but I think they're fun and you little competitiveness. My favorite, well, it's not a board game, it's a card game. My favorite game is Uno. Cause that's the only one I can consistently win in. Um, it is. I don't know what to tell you. That's the only one I can consistently win at. I used to be able to play dominoes. I think it's just divided by 5, so you just have to match the 5s or some shit. I don't know that, but like I used to be able to play that. But like, so he's excited, and then Jacob was like, "Oh, I don't think Gregory wants to come," and then Jared Gray was like, "Oh no, this is right up my alley." I mean, like, why would you? He bought his girlfriend like a Lego bouquet. Like Legos are not too far from board games. Like why wouldn't you think he like? You know what? You think he's your best friend, and he clearly is not your best friend, and you're making up some narrative about Gregory in your head because anxiety, entitlement, white privilege. I don't fucking know. You already know how I feel about Jacob at this point. He got one more time to tell them kids that they shit ain't enough, and I'm gonna cuss at the screen very loudly, like fuck this mother. So I'm just waiting for him to do some more shit. So like I'm just scooting Jacob because no, them type of white folks are like sneak thieves. They just come undercover, seem friendly and nice, and then they do some fucking racist shit and act like they don't know what the fuck you talking about when you call it out. Like, what do you mean? Like no, I don't. I'm just side eyeing him for right now. And so they all at Janine house. They playing some weird ass game. Jacob brought some obscure game that him and his family plays. I don't know. It's called Drought. I've never played it, never heard of it. But they playing it and nobody knows how to play this game except for Jacob. So they're all sitting there kind of confused. And then I guess like Janine's sister makes a move and she decides to like do something where basically she takes all her money and water and land and assets and keeps them to herself and doesn't share. And so that just triggered Janine. She was like, ugh, you just like to abandon people and I'm glad you admitted it. I'm just like, girl. See, what Janine doesn't understand is everybody has a breaking point. Janine hasn't reached her breaking point. Well, no, she did. She did when she didn't pay rent for 3 months. But because she wasn't working, that gave her enough time to feel just enough sad and sorry about herself and be at her worst state and heal just enough to go back to school in the fall and go back to work and pay all the past due rent that she had been owing. So I don't know. I wouldn't say she's hit rock bottom, but she's had huge emotional meltdowns that have drastically affected her ability to take care of herself for long periods of time. And then she figures it out and gets it together. So I'm thinking that she's seeing those moments as figuring it out and getting it together as she's just a fucking superhero and she can take on anything. And her sister's right. Like, you went to Penn, you had good grades, you did everything. She was basically the golden child. So a lot of times when you have manipulative parents, they like to categorize you and treat you a certain way just so that they can manipulate you and play you off of each other. So you got the scapegoat child. The scapegoat child is the one where all the problems are put on them. Every problem in the family is because of them and all this other shit. And then you got the golden child. The golden child's the one that does everything right and is put up on a pedestal, but in reality they are perfectionists and they always they can never make a mistake, and they're basically their manipulative parents' lapdog. So they also end up emotionally inept and messed up growing up as well. And so Janine, it sounds like she was the golden child. She got good grades. She keeps her mom in check. It just sounds exhausting. She just sounds exhausted. And when that rock bottom collapse finally comes, because she's not doing anything about it. I mean, there's these small moments, so maybe these small moments are helping her release and understand herself better and stuff. So maybe through the course of the show, these small moments will maybe be enough for her to find some semblance of healing. But no, I'm still gonna say she needs to go to therapy. I don't. She needs to go to a therapist. I feel like her sister's gone to a therapist because her sister's also looking at her like she's wild or something's wrong with her. And she's just looking at her like, what's wrong with you? She's living her own healthy life with friends and activities and things she likes to do. She watched the eclipse with somebody. She was telling them a nice little story about how she watched the eclipse with somebody, and there go haterade Janine over there making faces and stuff because the bitch watched the clips with somebody and shit. Bitch, you got a friend? You could go sit and watch the stars with your fucking friend. Why don't you do that? Why you got this hating ass look like she's supposed to be suffering or some shit? You know? So, like, they outside arguing, right? And then, like, basically, Janine is telling her that she feels abandoned by her sister. Like, so that's the root of the issue here, is that when your sister left, you felt like she left you too. She left you in the trenches. But the thing is, Janine, like, you just need to be strong enough to say no, and you're not. It is what it is. Her sister basically had to break it down and be like, I could not move forward when the person who needed me the most was always disappointed in me. Like, she did not have the capacity to just suck it up like Janine and disassociate and act like everything is okay and people please and still be able to go to school and hold a career and have a relationship. And even that relationship was like somebody taking advantage of her and using her and shit. So, like, even that was some bullshit. So, like, I'm waiting for Janine to just collapse and fall apart and have some mental breakdown. Like, I really am. Like, the summertime was one. Maybe she just, like, maybe every summer she has some kind of sort of weird mental breakdown or something. No, because, like, now she's totally isolated. So, like, she has her friend Erica. Well, that's chill, but she don't got the 24/7 that she has in a relationship. Her mom is still, like, it sounds like she low-key emotionally abusive and emotionally neglectful. And she ain't really got no other friends outside of Erica. I mean, you don't need a shit ton of friends, but 2 or 3 ain't bad. And so, she does have Jacob. So she does have 2 friends, but Jacob got a nigga. And so, like, and I think Jacob be getting tired of her too sometimes. So, like, I don't know. I just feel this, like, huge emotional collapse coming because she ain't taking care of herself like she's supposed to. Like, her apartment was cute. I like the little fairy light situations. And, if I could just get up on these ceilings and put the light strip up and they so high, and I might just hang me some fucking fairy lights up on the wall as far as I can reach and then just let it go at that because I miss having my lights all over and shit. So I'm probably gonna do some shit like that. But anyways, her apartment was cute. Like, they budget went up. They got to decorate her apartment a little bit better than from that episode where she was sitting on the couch throwing up and shit. Or maybe she moved. I don't know. But yeah, like, you can't be mad at somebody for setting better boundaries than you can. You can't be mad and think that somebody's abandoning you because you want to hang around some toxic motherfucker that's driving them insane. You can't be mad if they then build a better, happier life than you because they're in a healthier place because they got away from that toxic motherfucker and you not able to do that. Like, it is what it is. It's like I said in the Woman King. Like, you got to stay in a lane that's for you. So if your lane is not setting boundaries and you're not able to say no and you're not able to do that right now and you don't even want to work on it, then stay there. But don't look over there and judge motherfuckers because they're able to do that. Like, there are plenty of things that other people are able to do that, I be like, damn, I want to do that shit. But what I started to do, because I be watching all the animes, I be seeing them as rivals. So in animes, rivals aren't necessarily your enemies. Rivals are people that basically motivate you to do better. So when I see somebody doing something that I want to do or at a place that I want to get to, I will say, oh, hell no, nigga. Like, you ain't going to be the only one up there. I'm going to do that shit too. And I'm going to do it better. And then I do it better a lot of the time. I do the shit and sometimes I even do it better, nigga. Like, Or I decide that that shit's not for me. I was just envious, and I need to stop being envious. Like I follow like a lot of people that travel like every other month and stuff, and I realized that you know what, I can't, like the actual getting on the plane, sitting in the plane, getting to the hotel, like that shit ain't for me, nigga. I can't be doing that shit all the time. That's why when I go on vacation, I be going for like 3 weeks to a month because I need a while to decompress before I have to get back on the plane. Like I can't imagine staying nowhere for no fucking week. Not international. Like I'll stay like in an America, like in another state for like a week or something, 3 days or some shit, because it's America. Like. No, it's like a whole thing when you travel internationally. You got to get to the plane. You got to make sure that the plane ain't delayed. And then one time the plane was delayed and I had to spend the night in China and shit. And I didn't speak no Chinese. And this one girl, God sent this woman to me. Because I was standing there doe-eyed. Like, they was telling us to get on these little tour buses. And I didn't know where the tour buses was going. Apparently... So the girl saw me looking stupid in the face and she came up to me and we started like talking on the cell phones through the translator. And she basically was telling me that, oh, these buses take us to the hotel that they've chartered for the passengers that weren't able to get on the flights because the flights were delayed. And so you get to stay at this hotel. You just got to get on the bus. And when the bus stops, you get off. And she was telling me all this shit. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. I'd have been sitting up here just like lost in China. I was so upset. So it's like you don't never know what's gonna happen. You gotta be prepared for life and shit, nigga. And you can't be looking at other people and being like, oh, you just are you're just wrong for being better at something than I am. Like, nigga, shut up. No, just be honest. You missed your sister. You felt abandoned with your mom. But the thing is, girl, at some point you are making a choice to help this person who's broken. And you should just potentially, I think she needs to go no contact. So next, are we going to meet the mom? Are we going to see how the mom is? It's shit. the way Janine is, it don't even have to do with how she make her sound. Just the way Janine is, like, you can tell when somebody has been thoroughly traumatized just in the way they be acting and how hyped up and frantic they are, or how irritable they are, or how hyper vigilant they are, and you just be like, oh my gosh, some really fucked up shit must have happened to you for you to be this hyper vigilant. I'm sorry. And like, people don't be paying attention. Like, I was always paying attention to shit like that when people be frantic and irritable and just hair trigger emotions and shit. Like, especially if I know I didn't do nothing and they just start acting like that out of nowhere. Like, I'm not the one. Like, I'm not about to fight or nothing. I'm just mean, like, I'm not going to be around that because I used to be that, and I know that when I was that, it had nothing to do with anyone else around me, but I would project that onto the people around me because it made me feel better for a small moment until I felt bad again a few minutes later, because that's not a real healthy coping skill that will last. And so when I see shit like that, I'm just like, oh, they've been through some shit. Like, I felt it off her sister when she first walked into the apartment. Her sister was just looking at her like side, like, is she okay? Like, well, I'm gonna go see some people. So I'm not gonna be able to do those things with you. And Janine at the end was all like, well, you just coming into my apartment and you just drop your shit and leave. I'm just like, you didn't even ask her. You didn't even ask her what her itinerary was. You didn't even consider that she would have an itinerary. You just assumed because of your franticness and your anxiety that she's supposed to feel the exact same way as you and want to be all up under you and da-da-da-da. It's like, girl, like I said, you have to be like really like a calm person to be around that type of energy that Janine puts off. It's frantic, it's anxious, it's let me do this, let me do that, let me make sure you got this, let me make sure da-da-da-da. She don't chill out. She don't chill the fuck out. And so I saw it in her sister when she was looking at her. She was just like, this is too much. Like, I need to go. And it's toxic. It's toxic, not in a harmful way or an abusive way. It's just toxic because it's harmful to the person themselves. Because don't nobody want to be around that. Don't nobody want to be like someone always on top of them, like just trying to make everything, control everything and stuff. It's weird. And so, like, I used to be that, so I'm not saying like, it's just you just a bad person and like, no, like I used to do that shit. Like, I remember I used to do that shit. Just be like going broke for niggas and shit, and just doing way extremely too fucking much. Because I thought this is what's going to make people stay with me, and this is what's going to make me end up married and happy and da-da-da-da. And it's like, no, girl, you is muling for niggas that's taking advantage of you. Friends and family members and certain people. And I'm just like, oh, wow. I need to, I need to fix that. So when I see it, I'm just like, I can't be around that shit in my personal life. I can't, like, I felt it with her sister. I was just like, oh, hell no. If you wasn't her sister, she would not be around you. The energy is just too much. Like, you need to chill the fuck. No, I have anxiety, and I know my triggers, and I know, like, if you hype, then I'm hype. If you stay hyped, then I'm staying hype. If you continue to be hyped for the duration of the time we are hanging out, then I'm going to get hyped and then I'm going to get angry. And then I'm going to say some fucked up shit because you won't chill the fuck out. So I don't want to do that. I want to avoid doing those types of things because it's not right and it's not okay and it's not helpful. It wouldn't have been helpful to me to be cussed the fuck out, And if it's a friend, like, I would probably gently talk to them, but these aren't things that people can just fix overnight. These are things that take time and take working on yourself. And a lot of people aren't doing the work. And a lot of people are doing the work and it just takes time. And for me, I'm just like, if you're not doing the work and you at a 10 all the fucking time, I can't do that. Like, I need you to be consistently working on yourself because I can be at a 10 all the fucking time, but because I consistently work on myself, I'm at a consistent, like a 5 or 6, just chilling most of the time in the middle somewhere, content, and it feels so good to be that way. And then occasionally there's some shit that might take me to a 10, but I know my coping skills and be able to take it back down to a 5. But like, Janina ain't getting no help. She's just at a 10. She always I just feel like she would come in my shit and break some shit. Knock my PlayStation over on accident and then be like, and then be falling on and breaking stuff because she just doing too much. Be trying to help me with shit that I didn't ask for and then fuck my shit up and just be like, girl, I'm not doing this. Either you figure your shit out or you get the fuck out. I don't have it for you. You not working on yourself. Like, see, I can't do, if you're not working on yourself on a regular basis and you ain't like aware of these things, like, I can't have that shit in my personal life. So I felt it when her sister was in there looking around like, oh, yeah, it's a lot of plans and stuff. But anyways, I have people to see and things to do. Don't get the fuck up out of this motherfucker. Janine just mad. I'm just like, girl, do you see yourself? Like, you need to see your fucking self, girl, because it's not cute. And then you go look back, and these are going to be the cringy moments when you heal, and then you look back and be like, oh, I dated that nigga since the age of 15, and he didn't have no job that whole time, and I scraped and worked like a fucking slave. Like, what the fuck was wrong with me? Shit. Nigga, you just be looking back on that shit and just be like, what? Oh my gosh, I broke the lights in the school, and because I was I thought I could fix something. Like, I was a fucking electrician or some shit. Like, wow. What what the fuck was wrong with me? Like, you just look back on that shit and you don't want nobody like that ain't working on themselves on a consistent basis in your life, period. Personal life, because that's more controllable. And so, it is what it is. That's why people that care about you want you to work on yourself, because it hurts them to see you hurting. And then you put that shit on them with you put all your hurt on them too. And then that hurts even more. And then they don't want to fucking be around you. And it is what it is. Y'all just like, you got these people that are healed around you that's like, I'm not going to let you put that hurt on me, girl. You need to go fix that somewhere. So I'm glad towards the end, though, she finally was able to say what the problem really was. I wish they had more time to talk, but this nigga Jacob, I was just like, go in the motherfucking house, Jacob. What is you doing? He coming outside talking about, Janine, come and do your moves so that, I'm like, it's a fucking, nigga, they talking. It's a game. I don't like that nigga. No, because like anybody else, it would just be this annoying ass character and shit like that. But he's already shown that he has lapses in seeing people's humanity. And so this just felt like another lapse. It's very small, but another lapse in seeing people's humanity. And I just don't understand that. Like, how do you lapse in seeing people's humanity? Like, how do you just shut it off and you just objectify immediately? Like, let me think. Do I do that shit? See, now I'm thinking, now I gotta check my motherfucking self, because do I lapse in seeing people's humanity and shit? I be trying to be present and be mindful and shit. And now I have to acknowledge when I'm purposely annoying people, like my cat and shit. I be holding her and she don't like to be held, and she be just tolerating me, and I just be like, look at you tolerating me. And that's still a form of love, so I'm just gonna keep holding you. But I acknowledge that she has feelings about this and she don't like it and shit, but she loves me enough to tolerate it for like maybe 5 minutes and shit. So, I've been working on that shit. Like, no, like, cause I be watching shit like this, and it's like, even the small moments ain't right, cause that could hurt somebody's feelings and shit. And I don't want to, like, just be like forgetting that people have feelings and they're humans and they have cultural backgrounds and individual experiences and things like that make them a person. And there was a reason why them little boys liked the podcast that they liked. That's the cultural experience that you look down upon. And this just felt like you didn't even recognize that they were like upset at each other over some childhood shit, Jacob. You thought they were mad about the game. Like, and everybody just smacking their lips and just rolling their eyes like it's some simple shit. Like, this is not a pattern. Like, I don't like that nigga. That's some sneaky shit. I mean, like, it's, like, he probably is just a goofy whatever fucking character and whatever, but like, no, I be peeping game and I don't like it, so it is what it is. So I was like, go back in the house, Jacob. What the fuck is wrong with you? They out here having a heart-to-heart because they're sisters. What the fuck? You over here talking to them about a fucking board game? Nigga, if you don't go back in the house. I was upset. And so they basically went back in the house to finish Jacob's little funky-ass board game that don't nobody know how to play. And, they came to like some kind of like, agreement or whatever with each other. And then her sister visited her at school. And then Barbara, like one of her little students, brought her like a little lotion gift set and shit. And I just like vibed, because that was the gift I would give my mom every one of her birthdays. And Mother's Day when I was in middle school and like maybe late elementary school and shit. There was a Rite Aid across the street and I would go get that shit. It would be like $15 for a little set. saying? Is that a part of black culture? Are we all just living the same lives? Look at this shit, nigga. Because all them students came up in there with a little perfume lotion situation, and I'm just like, this is like a part of black culture. Like, this is a thing. Like, I just did it because, I figured like my mom is a lady and she likes to smell good, and this thing doesn't just have one smelly thing, it has 5 smelly things that'll make her feel good. And so I'm gonna buy the 5 smelly things that she might like to wear to make her smell good and be feeling good and shit. That was my logic. But apparently other little black kids doing the same shit, so I'm just like, wow, great minds, great African American minds. Just squat. So she's doing this little narrative at the end of the show talking about her love for the school and the kids and how everybody love everybody and love and it's magical and the little kids love and everybody love and it's magical and and then Ava get the letter talking about they want to turn that shit into a charter school, and it's like, bitch. And then we find out Mr. Johnson won $1,000 at the game because they asked him about to name 10 cleaning products, and they just closed the screen. They didn't even let it play because they was like, so you won $1,000. Melissa was like, so you won $1,000? And he was like, yeah. And they gave me a $50 Buffalo Wild Wing gift certificate. And this, and Brenda just like, her face was, what the I'm so upset. And so that was the end of the show, and I'm just like, I want to meet their mom next. We breaking down the family and shit. I want to meet their mom. Is their mom coming out? Fuck this charter school shit. Like, they gonna figure that shit out. They not gonna cancel this show. They not about to cancel this show. That's making they went from one season with 11 something episodes or whatever to the second season with 24 episodes or whatever. These niggas not about to change up the game real quick like that and then had this show be some whole different shit with Aaron Burr, sir. Like, no, sir, like you ain't the one. You're not Janine and Gregory. We don't watch this free. So, I'm not worried about that charter school shit. I'm just like, oh, they're trying to add drama. No, let's break down this family dynamic that Janine has. I want to see more of her shit splayed on the table. I want to see her mom. I want to see, who's her dad? How does he contribute to the fucked up shit that's going on inside this woman? Let's break this shit down. Who Gregory mama? Where his mama at? Did they mention her? Is she dead? Like, we need to go deeper. We need to go deeper, and they're slowly going deeper as the shows progress. So I'm excited for that. Like, this charter school shit is just some background noise so they can have some drama at the end of the, what's gonna happen to the school? Nothing. This school makes Disney and I think Warner Brothers and Quinta too much fucking money. For them to change up the whole storyline out of the fucking blue. So I don't care about that shit. Let's go deeper into the family life. That's what I want to know. Background stories. I want to know histories. I want to meet Barbara's husband. I want to know, like, Melissa and her family dynamic. Do they all be arguing and shit like that? And Jacob, I think he a sneaky nigga and he about to do some fuck shit. He's a Judas motherfucking bet. I don't know because when it counts, when it's some truly evil shit, Jacob be like, oh no, like you can't like separate the children based off what you think is the better kids versus the not better kids, and all the other kids in the hood don't get to come to your school and da. But then he'd be doing this little water drop shit, Chinese torture shit, and just be forgetting people's humanity and shit. And I just be like, what? So I'm just like, I think he's gonna get pulled over to the dark side. They're gonna tell him some shit about the charter school that's gonna be some, like, in his mind is gonna be some magnificent shit. And then he's gonna get pulled over to the dark side. And I hope his nigga leave him and shit too if he do. So like, no, you're not gonna pander. Because then it automatically turns into pandering. No, you not gonna do that shit. And then, so we'll see. He hasn't done anything yet, so I'm not gonna be like, evil should become him, befall him. But yeah, I don't like that nigga. So we'll see what happens next. Motherfuckers probably be out here talking about why you don't like Jacob. He's so sweet and so kind. You don't see this pattern. You don't see him drop his ability to be a human, to see other people's humanity. You don't see that. That's not normal. That's not a normal, like, annoying trait that someone may have. Like, they smack when they chew or some shit like that they not paying attention to. That doesn't hurt anybody. It's just annoying. No, this is affecting how people view themselves and the things that they like and the things that they don't like. This is affecting how children view themselves and the things that they like and the things they don't like. So yes, I am side-eyeing this nigga. But let me stop talking about this nigga and just wait and see what they do with his character, because I'm just feeling a type of way and it's not okay. But anyways, let me know what you think of this review. Like, share, subscribe, all the magical things, and later days.